you from Rancho Paco in Ocala, Florida, it's He's No Mickey Mantle with your hosts, George and Jordan.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to He's No Mickey Mantle. Today we're going to be going over the NBA playoffs. We're currently in the midst of round one, except for Philadelphia. Everyone's still playing their round one games. So we're going to be going over the East and West and how each series is doing, and give you who we think will win and how we think they're going to do moving forward. So let's get right into it, starting with the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Heat are currently up 2-1 after taking a win at home last night. But they have been affected by a lot of injuries. So we're Heat fans, so we're sad to see it, but we're happy that they're up 2-1. So what do you think about that, and how do you think
Well, first off, feel very bad for Victor Oladipo. Came back so strong after the knee injuries. He's built himself back, and the Heat really could have used him with Hero being out to make up some of the point deficits that we're going to miss without Hero. He was playing well. He played well last night up until the injury. Tore his patella tendon. Hopefully he recovers soon and can make another comeback. Because that's a good dude, and sorry to see him hurt. Jimmy Butler also got dinged up a little bit. Got the old gluteus contusion. He got a butt bruise.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. He'll be ready for tomorrow's game 4, but they're definitely dealing with a little bit of banging up. So hopefully we could prevent that in the next few games.
And Giannis, we don't know. He's still day to day with that back contusion. Also, he's missed 2.5 games. He's missed already.
Practically missed the whole first game.
Yeah, he's missed 2.5 games of the series already. The Bucks looked real good in one of them, looked real bad in another one. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on Monday with this series and with this game. I hope the Heat do well. All we have to do is win our home games and move on to the next round. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I think the key to that's going to be what they did last night, having the bench put up. I think they had 30-something points off the bench. That's what they did last year. That's what got them to 7th game of the conference finals. So I think that's what they need to keep doing. And it's something they didn't do all year, which is why they found themselves in the 8th seed.
The Bucks team is suspect on defense. There will be times when they look really bad on defense, and the Heat need to exploit that.
Yeah.
But honestly, the Bucks are the better team, even without Giannis. They should be doing better than what they are right now.
Yeah. So we'll see how they do in Game 4 if the Bucks had bounced back. But if not,
go Heat.
Be exciting to see a 3-1 lead for sure. So, but then going into our second matchup, we got the Knicks and the Cavs. And the Knicks have taken a 3-1 lead in that series after getting a win today. So
the Knicks have been playing well. The other night, the Cavs couldn't hit the ocean if they threw the ball off a ship. They were Brick City. They scored less than 80 points, I think it was, which is ridiculous in today's NBA. Cavs are not looking good. Overhyped all season. Overhyped completely. Everybody said the Cavs are back. They're good. No, they're not. The Knicks are going to win that series and hopefully take on the Knicks. The Knicks hopefully taking on the Heat. Taking back to some 90 old school rivalry. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting matchup. Donovan Mitchell is kind of the Lone Ranger over there on Cleveland right now, and I could see the guys a bit frustrated, especially being the higher seed in that matchup. I think, honestly, one of the weaker. I mean, both Cavs and the Knicks are one of the weaker teams in the East. I mean, you got the Hawks obviously in Miami who didn't have a good season, but I think that overall this year there was a lot of mediocrity.
Yeah, but both those teams had very good seasons.
That is true. I
think right now the Knicks are just playing better at this point.
I don't think though that either team has the experience and the star power to be able to propel them through a deep playoff run.
You know how they've been calling last year they called the Heat dangerous loomers. They're dangerous loomers again. They're hovering right there. That team is dangerous with the experience they have in the playoffs. If they get going. But the Knicks and the Cavs, that series is boring to me. I don't like either of those teams. I don't really care about that series.
Yeah, but I think the Knicks are gonna come out.
Oh yeah, the Knicks are the better team,
and
the Knicks definitely the better team.
They'll be waiting to see whether they'll be playing Miami or Milwaukee. So
3-1 deficit. They're not coming back from that.
Yeah. So then our matchup, which we got a game going on right now between Boston and Atlanta, who I think Boston should be running away with this series. I mean,
well, Boston's up 2-1. And in the series, the game that's on right now, they're only up by 3 going into the fourth quarter. It's 90-87 going into the fourth quarter. Anything that happened there in that fourth quarter, the Atlanta pulls that off at home. 2-2 series, that's kind of interesting. I didn't see that one coming. I didn't think Atlanta would have been grabbed one game from those guys. But they've made it interesting. We'll see what happens. Boston should win that series easily.
I thought Boston was the best team going to the playoffs, at least as far as the East goes. I think they were a better team than the Milwaukee.
I agree.
To be honest,
I agree. I think they're the favorites in the East.
So I don't see them having any troubles making it back to the conference finals again.
No,
that's coming from someone who hates Boston teams, but they're legit.
They're the best team in the conference.
I mean, Tatum and Brown those guys are scorers, and Al Horford's 110, and the guy's still playing really well. So
yeah,
and they got Marcus Smart and a lot of depth on that bench.
Brown, the guy's really good. But they're Boston should win that series easily. I mean, they're struggling right now in this game. Not struggling, they're in the lead, but it's a much closer game than I would have anticipated.
Yeah, and then going to the only sweep we got. So Denver could sweep, but we'll get to that in a minute. Philly swept Brooklyn 4-0. But the downside is Philly has an injured Embiid right now going into the second round. And they don't have a for sure yes or no, is he going to be starting? He's kind of 50% right now, like they said. So that's going to be interesting to see how that affects them going into the second round. But they did.
I said it since Brooklyn lost their 2 stars, Durant and Kyrie Irving. I said those guys are frauds. I didn't think they would even make the playoffs, let alone do anything if they got there. I didn't think they'd even get in. So they got swept out by a good Philly team. The problem now is Embiid's hurt again. Happens to him every year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and we see what happens when Embiid's hurt in the playoffs. Philadelphia doesn't win.
Yeah, I mean, Maxi's a good player. He could do some damage. They got Harden. When he's not hitting nut shots and getting thrown out of games, he's a good, still a viable option for scoring. But without Embiid, that team's not gonna do anything. They need that guy to be healthy. And right now he's not.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, but we'll have to see how he does in the next few days. I'm not exactly sure when the second round will be starting. I think they have a little bit.
I think it's not going until Saturday.
Yeah, so they'll have some time to heal up, but I definitely think that if he's gonna miss, that's gonna cost him, especially if they gotta play Boston. They're not gonna win.
Yeah. If Boston moves on to the next round like they should, without Embiid, Philly doesn't stand a chance. I don't think.
Yeah, so I think that whole the future of Philly's riding on Embiid right now.
Yeah, on
sure.
the health of his. I'm not even sure what's wrong with him. A knee? Well, what's wrong with him now?
No, I don't know. He didn't exit a game. I think it was just afterwards, after the series was over, he was banged up, and so I don't know. We'll have to see more on that. But
another guy that wanted to kick some tail. He should have been.
He should have been ejected for that. Yeah. That was horrible. All right, so moving on to the West, we got Denver up 3-0 on the Timberwolves. No surprise there at all.
Denver is a favorite in the West, I think.
Number 1 seed.
The best team in the West, in my opinion.
A likely MVP once again in Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to win. I think Embiid will win the MVP this year. And he deserves it. But that series is not, that's done. 3-0.
Anthony Edwards said you got to win 4, not 3.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that guy's full of it.
But good for him. I mean, what's he going to say? Yeah, we're done? With 1 game more to go? No, he's got to say that. And hopefully he believes it. And hopefully his team believes it. But I don't think they stand a chance even saying that. I think Denver sweeps that series and they move on. Who do they play in the next round? The winner of what?
They play the winner of 4 and 5. So that'd be Sacramento and Golden State. Ooh. Or no, it'd be Clippers and Suns.
No, Clippers and Suns.
Clippers and Suns.
Okay. That'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
That's a good second round matchup right there. Denver and one of those guys.
Yeah, and we'll get right into that one. We got Suns up 3-1 right now after a big performance by Kevin Durant. Putting up about, 35, 38? Guy had a night.
Well, I mean, the Clippers are relying on
Russell
Westbrook, who went off.
Who himself put up over 30.
He tried to single-handedly take care of that team. He wasn't able to do it. He put up 37 points. He can't do much more than that. Can't ask Russell to do much more than that. But once again, Kawhi, injured again. Hurt again. Very fragile dude. He's always hurt.
Yeah, and Paul George ain't returning for the series either. So.
No, Paul George's been out since the beginning. He wasn't going to be back this series. So that Clippers, Suns, that's done. Booker and Durant are moving on to the next round.
And I think that was pretty, that was pretty likely to happen. I mean, I think they're one of the favorites in the West.
I think if George is healthy and Kawhi plays a full series, that's a competitive series. If Russell plays the way he played last night.
Yeah.
That would have been a very competitive series. But it's done. 3-1, that's over. The Suns will move on. Whether it's 4-2 or 4-1, whatever it is, they're moving on. They're taking that easily.
Yeah, so we got that, and then...
So the Suns and Denver, Phoenix and Denver will be a very good matchup.
Yeah.
I like that series. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. And then the kind of interesting story we got here with Lakers and Memphis, a little bit of drama going on there with Dylan Brooks and LeBron. We got to see that unfold last night. And the Lakers and LeBron came out with a little bit of fire under their butts. And
Dylan Brooks is a clown.
And put up, 60-something at the half. We're up by like 30 at one point.
They were up.
Tied the most points in a first quarter in the playoffs.
It was 35-9 in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter. I mean, you can't come out better than that. And they came out fired up. All because this clown opened his mouth. He likes to poke bears, he poked the bear. Even pregame, LeBron went over to him. Who knows what he said to him? But whatever it was, put the fear of the basketball gods in that guy. Because he did nothing. He played scared, he played bad. He played so bad that he was getting cooked so much that he tapped out. Tapped out on LeBron on the nuts. But he tapped out nonetheless. He did that on purpose. And he got ejected because he couldn't handle the smoke.
So now that's him and Harden getting ejected for hitting a guy in the groin.
Yep.
And he wants to put the blame on the fans and on the
he told me
media
that. He said that
for giving him this false persona. Guy brought that to himself.
The guy thought he was Stone Cold Steve Austin from the WWE, all hard, making these wrestling promos in every thing that he does. Called out LeBron. And what's funny is, it didn't fire up LeBron, it fired up the Lakers.
Yeah.
AD took it personally. And he said, no, we don't play that. AD went crazy. The whole team came out fired up. They put 35-9 in the first quarter. That dude made a huge mistake. If I was his teammate, I would tell, bro, don't talk ever again. Just shut up and play your game, because what you did to us was not good.
The guy was so embarrassed he was denying interviews after the game.
He shouldn't talk again. What a dummy.
That's
But Ja, we gotta talk about Ja. Ja Morant.
Ja Morant's a bucket.
That dude put up 45 last night.
That guy's insane. Yeah, and
Single-handedly got that team back in that game.
The Lakers only won by 10 points.
Single-handedly put that team in that game. He scored 22 straight points for Memphis in the fourth quarter. That dude was with an injured hand. His hand's not 100%.
Yeah. I mean, even with all the drama going on, I still don't think the Lakers are a super dominant team. I definitely think that Memphis can make that a series for sure. It's only 2-1 right now anyway. So I'm not gonna say the Lakers are gonna run away with it. Definitely think that it's a pretty competitive match.
I think it's very competitive. I think it's still up in the air who wins that one. The Lakers played good at the beginning. Memphis closed out strong. So we'll see what happens in the next game on Monday. Yeah. I think they play tomorrow.
Yeah, they should be playing tomorrow. It's every other day. So
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the teams are pretty closely matched up. Again, I don't think they survive the next round. Either one of those teams.
No, I don't think so either. Because Sacramento and Golden State, that's probably the most competitive matchup we got in this whole
That's the
season.
series I think has been the best series in round one. By far.
And I think both those teams are playing really high level basketball right now. So either or, whichever comes out. I mean, it's tied 2-2 right now, but whoever gets out of there, I think they'll do pretty well against either LA or Memphis.
Well, today that game finished
by 1 point.
Sacramento just gave that game away, honestly. They should have won that game. The way that things unfolded at the end there. They had it in the bag, and then they
couldn't get it done at the end, unfortunately.
They didn't get it done. De'Aaron Fox played a phenomenal game. That guy, he balled. He balled out. But, Sacramento, Golden State has that, like Coach Spo says, championship DNA. Can't deny that. Those guys know how to win, and they know how to win when they have to win. So that series is the best one I've seen, that I've been seeing. And I'm not sure who wins that one.
I think, like you said, Golden State's got that championship DNA, so I think they're going to take that series. It's going to go...
Sacramento is the better team, I think. They're the better team. Golden State has the experience, which is huge in the playoffs.
I think it might go to a Game 7, to be honest.
That may go to a Game 7.
I think that's going to be...
And I hope it goes to Game 7, because that series has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very competitive.
Hopefully Draymond doesn't get suspended another game, that he stays, in the games, and doesn't cost his team any more than he already has. Even though I was on his side in this suspension, that dude held him.
Yeah.
Sabonis grabbed his leg and didn't let go, like he was you're too young for this reference. Van Gundy on Alonzo. And when the Heat and the Knicks fought, and Jeff Van Gundy just grabbed Alonso's knee, leg, held on for dear life. That's what it looked like. So imagine little Jeff Van Gundy and Alonso Mourning, giant. That was fun. So I'm hoping that the 90s Knicks and Heat rivalry repeats itself. Oh, that's not the game we're talking about. But it's a bonus. He did him dirty, man. Obviously not the reaction you're supposed to have, but I get it. But Draymond has to be smarter than that because he does have a reputation and they're looking at him.
Draymond's got to kind of walk on eggshells. If he does anything, the refs are going to give him a tech. That's kind of how it's been for the last couple of years.
It's the reputation he built.
He gave himself that reputation, so he's
It's a reputation he built. If he doesn't build that reputation, it doesn't happen.
But he did good today on defense coming off the bench,
which is an excellent defensive player.
Which was something they hadn't done before, which was pretty cool to see. I heard in the post game, Steve Kerr was talking about it, and he was saying that Draymond was actually the one that came up with the idea to come off the bench. So that was pretty cool.
They had to mix it up a little bit. They're getting a little stale, a little old, those guys. I think moving on for next season, they need to build around those young guys. Poole and all those other young cats they got. Keep Steph and say bye-bye to Draymond and Thompson. And go young. Steph and Young. See what happens. Their championship window's closing. Yeah, I think this is the last good run they got. They even get past the series.
Their prime is gone. I mean, they won last year, but their prime of winning consecutive and multiple in a span of years is gone.
They got a shot this year, maybe, if they get through this series.
Yeah. I mean, it's only going to go downhill from here. They're not going to, get back to what they were back in 2016.
If they win this series, they'll get to the conference finals. Because the second round, I don't think the Lakers or Memphis can beat those guys.
I mean, you're right. So do you think they could beat maybe Suns or Denver?
That would be Denver and the Suns would be a tough matchup for them. But they do have that championship DNA.
So. All right, so give me a quick prediction. Who do you think's going to come out of the West?
Out of the West.
I know who I got.
I think Denver's the best team. I would like to say the Suns.
That's who I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Suns.
I would like to say the Suns, but I think Denver's the best team. So I'm going to go with Denver.
You think Denver's going to find themselves in the finals?
Yeah.
Interesting. I got the Suns. I think their star power is insane. And, I mean, they were in it a couple years ago.
Yeah, they got the two superstars, and then they got Ayton. The guy's pretty good player. So the pieces are there for the Suns for sure. Mm-hmm. To see if they can put it together and see what happens.
Yeah, I think their Suns will find their way back in the finals this year and maybe get KD another ring. But so who do you got in the East coming out?
The East, my loyalty in my heart only says one team.
But your logic and common sense
says another thing. So I'm going to go with my head and my heart. The Heat are going to make it all the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're going to win the finals?
I'm a Heat fan, man. I always say they're going to win the finals.
Well, I'm a Heat fan too, but I'm also trying to be...
That's your generation that's a realist.
Non-biased and,
I'm nothing but biased.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a homer myself, but I'm going to be non-biased and...
I think Boston's the best team
logical.
in the East.
Yeah. And say that the Celtics will make the finals again.
The Celtics are the best team in the East. By far. I don't think...
Even with a healthy Giannis?
Yes. I don't think the Bucks will beat those guys.
No, I agree. I mean, it'll be close if Giannis is back healthy, but I think the Celtics...
Even though surprisingly...
Their shooting is way too good.
Even surprisingly that the Hawks are giving them a hard time. So...
It's an 8-point game right now with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, so I don't...
Yeah, but I think Boston will come out of the East, and I think they'll be facing the Suns from the West.
So you got Boston and Phoenix.
Boston, Phoenix, and since I hate Boston so much, I'm gonna say Phoenix wins it.
Well, Boston and Phoenix, I think Durant gets his title on his own there. Well, he has booked, but
You got
he's a better player than
you got Miami, Denver,
Denver,
and Miami winning. In what?
Jim BP.
In what? How many games?
You're from Miami and you don't know what the answer is? Heat in 5. I mean, that's the answer for everything, right?
I mean, you say Heat in 4 until they lose 1, and then you say Heat in 5.
Okay, well, Heat in 4 then.
Heat in 4 against Jokic.
Jim BP.
No, that guy's a menace in the playoffs.
The Heat are a team that's...
And we're going to go off about them now.
The Heat are a team that underachieved this year from what they overachieved last year. Because they need better players. All those undrafted guys, that's not going to cut it in today's NBA. But if they get hot, Duncan woke up yesterday. He's been getting better. If we get Duncan back to where he was before, that's something. Kyle Lowry played good yesterday.
Everyone played good.
If Kyle Lowry starts playing well, look out. Kevin Love has been a nice addition on the defensive end. We're going to miss Depot. Going to definitely miss Hero. I got to make up all those points for Hero. But I like it. I think we do make it to the at least the conference finals for sure.
I know. Yeah, I think if they win this series, I think they'll beat New York or Cleveland in the second round.
Yeah, and all you Knicks fans that are saying we want Miami, man, careful what you wish for, pal.
No shot.
Careful what you wish for.
Like we said before, those are two of the weaker playoff teams. Non-experienced. I think the guys they're good, but they're not superstars, and they're not going to be able to face a team that's either Milwaukee or Miami, who's very experienced in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to.
You know, I say Miami because I'm a Miami fan, and what am I going to say? Not Miami. Of course, I'm going to say Miami. But I mean, Denver and Boston, in my opinion, are the best two teams in the league.
That's fair.
In my opinion. Can the Suns get in there? Absolutely.
That's my pick.
Can somebody beat Boston? Why not? I mean, you see Atlanta giving these guys a tough time. Atlanta's giving them a run for their money.
Who knows?
If Atlanta could give them a run for their money, I think Miami could give them a run for their money. I think New York could give them a run for their money. Milwaukee could give them a run for their money.
Or Embiid comes back healthy and
if
second round series.
The Sixers, everything depends on that dude. If he's not there, then they could go places. So we'll see what happens with all that.
So that's our ramble on the playoffs that we got so far. We're closing in on the Celtics and Hawks here.
What is the Celtics? It's still the same thing. 5 minutes, 8-point game.
8 point, yeah. Hasn't changed. So
they went to a giant timeout, a TV timeout. But the playoffs have been fun. I don't like all the ejections and all the nutcrackers. But I mean that's pretty low. Yeah, you don't hit a guy there. I mean, intentionally. I mean, because all those have been intentional. I see for accidents happen. But otherwise, it is what it is.
Yeah. So that's our take on what's going on.
So yeah, we'll see what happens in the second round.
Yeah. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a future upload. And I think we'll be getting back to baseball pretty soon.
Love baseball.
Yeah, we love baseball. So we're going to
follow us, Heat Nation.
We're going to go back to that in the next couple weeks here. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you next time.